This video is about China painting the roses red. Basically covering up the fact that the landscape where they be at is dying because they've mined it out, picked it, it's droughts, it's all kind of stuff smacking them. So they have to cover up all the damage that they've done over the years that's messing up the land when the environmentalist people come around. So guess what these idiots have decided to do? Because they so smart, but they so dumb. They decided to paint mountains green. Y'all gonna love this. These mofos over here painting mountains green. Oh my gosh. Painting trees green, painting grass green, and stapling leaves to trees. Just watch. Just watch.
Mountain green. And the locals were like, what the hell's going on here? The locals even were a little perturbed by this whole thing, and they asked the people that were painting. They said, yeah, the local government has told us to do this. And there are photos of the paint they were using. They were just using oil paint. So they painted this entire mountain with oil paint, which is not very environmentally friendly, I'll tell you that much. But it doesn't stop there. Mining companies and tourist areas around China started to do the same thing to improve the environment, because there was this mandate from the government. Hey, we have to be environmentally friendly. We have to rejuvenate the environment. So what do? Well, paint the rocks in your quarry green so that when the environmental inspectors come around or drive past, they think that there's lush greenery there and they're not going to question the fact that you're just destroying the entire area. That's one example. Paint the mountains green in the scenic tourist area to make it look better and more appealing. It's absolutely ridiculous. But now, of course, they've realized that using oil-based paints and spray paints on mountains is not a good idea.
You spray painting mountains?
So why not just roll out, for lack of a better word, camo net?
Roll it out.
You see, there are rules and regulations in China. There are rules these days pretty strict about not destroying the environment. But rather than follow the rules, shortcuts are taken. In other words, rolling out this camo net on the quarry or the mountain that you've destroyed and stripped of all of its natural foliage and so on and so forth. Rather than following the rules and affecting your bottom line, just pay for some cheap camo netting that can be strewn over the cliff or over the mountain or quarry.
That is a damn shame.
When your environmental efforts fail.
Wait till y'all see this dude stapling these leaves to the tree.
The grass died, the trees are dead. Well, staple leaves onto the trees, paint the grass green, and guess what? It looks like you've achieved your target. It looks like you're doing good stuff for the environment. And the reason I'm even talking about this ridiculous practice in China, because it is ridiculous. Anyone who looks at this will say, seriously? Seriously? You're painting the grass and the trees green? You're
painting
stapling leaves to trees? You're painting the mountains green or rolling tarp or whatever, camouflage netting over your mountains in order to make it look as if they're green? You gotta be kidding me, right? This is stupid. This is ridiculous. But in China, that's how things are done. That's why you see these ridiculous numbers coming out of China when it comes to the COVID deaths, where they claim that only a small amount of people died from COVID. Of course, it's not true. The GDP numbers that come out of China, these big mega projects that have got to do with green energy and technology and, cloud-based internet and all that, 5G. You see these impressive numbers. You see these impressive facades. You see these flashy cities. You see this flashy infrastructure. But you know what? It's just like painting the grass and the trees and the mountains green. It's put out there so that people think it's one thing, where in fact it simply isn't true. It is a harsh reality. And something that I've witnessed with my own eyes, the irreparable damage that has been done to the environment in China, within the borders of China. Whether this has just been through exploitative logging, mining, factory runoff, poisoning of the ground and the water. In fact, you cannot drink the water in China. It's all contaminated. The soil is mostly contaminated. It's a very bad situation as far as the environment's concerned. The lack of wildlife. The devastation that was wreaked on
That
China.
is a
It's big,
baboon.
big deal.
Where are you
And
taking
unfortunately,
him?
spraying chemicals onto grass and spraying and painting oil paints onto the mountains and whatever else is not going to help nature recover. What China needs is
Oh
it needs a
my
little bit of
gosh.
honesty. It really does. It needs the local governments to actually just sit back and admit that they have a problem and learn how to deal with it properly.
Wow.
Not always take shortcuts, not always try to cover things up, not always be about face.
Look at
But
Xi
I don't see this
Jinping.
changing anytime
Xi
soon.
Jinping, your
unfortunately.
country is failing.
I just once again want to use this whole painting the grass and the mountains and the trees and whatever else green as a warning and a little bit of insight into how the Chinese government works. When you see these glistening propaganda videos coming out of China, and it doesn't matter what topic they're covering, whether it's an infrastructure
No, they
thing
painting
or
all that
raising
shit.
people out of poverty thing or a investment thing or whatever, remember, it's just a shortcut. It is just a face job. It is just them painting the grass green.
Painting the grass green, China.
Until